rained down on London town like ash upon the stone, while the men in black cars whispered low, make sure he stands alone. The TV screens all burned his name like a public hanging sign, and the same old ghosts in Westminster said this one crossed the line. Well, the pub stayed open after dark, and working people talked about a country growing cold and justice being bought. Some said love him, some said no, some cursed him where he stood, but plenty saw the wolves appear wrapped up in doing good. And the men behind the glass, boys, the men behind the glass, they hide behind procedure while freedom slowly pass, with their polished shoes and silver tongues and hearts as hard as brass. Yeah, the men behind the curtains watch the people through the glass. Hey, oh. Hey, hey, hey. They don't fight out in the open air, they don't bleed beneath the sun. They bury people slowly now with forms and loaded tongues. A courtroom is their battlefield, accusations are their knife, and they'll drain a man a little more every single night. Tommy Robinson, they cursed your name, dragged you through the fire, through lawfare built by frightened men, protecting rank and power. Not brave enough to face debate, they use the courts instead. 1,000 paper cuts designed to leave a movement dead. The headlines screamed like battle drums, the anchors wore their smiles. They talked of law and safety as they marched him down the aisles. No need for chains or smoking guns, no tanks out in the streets, just endless courts and paperwork to grind you underneath. Now an old man down in Birmingham said, I've seen this all before. When governments get scared of speech, they always sharpen law. First they say it's temporary, then they say it's for your good, till every fearful bureaucrat starts acting like they should. And the men behind the glass, boys, the men behind the glass, they drink to one another while the shadows lengthen fast. And every time a voice speaks out, they move to choke and harass. Yeah, the cowards in the corridors still hide behind the glass. Oh! There's mothers scared to speak aloud, and fathers biting tongues, watching all the things they knew collapse while still so young. And every time they raise concern, they're branded and dismissed by hollow men with empty eyes and soft authoritarian fists. But truth can spread through factory towns, through terraces and bars, passed along in whispered talk beneath the northern stars. Because the people know the smell of panic in the state, when rulers fear the words of men far more than they fear hate. Now the streets are full of angry ghosts, of factories turned to dust, of promises that vanished and institutions lost to trust. And maybe that's what scares them most, not one man standing tall, but millions asking questions now about the lies of all. So the rain rolled on through London town, past the towers and the Thames, and somewhere in the midnight smoke the people judged the men, not by robes or titles worn, not by what the papers pass, but by those who stood in open light and who stayed behind the glass.